What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to cast a baitcaster, and I have been using a baitcaster for 2 months now actually, and hopefully I can teach you guys what I've learned and hopefully help some of you guys out. First off, let's see what's on the bait casting reel. Alright, so we have our bait caster, and right here we have the button to release the spool and able to cast your bait out. Right on the side we got a tension spool knob, which makes it able to tighten or loosen on the reel. You got your star drag right here, basically a regular drag, everything has it. And then on the side we got our magnetic brakes, so you can see the words. You got free all the way down here, and then right here you got the max, so you want to put all the way up. So what the difference is, if you have it on free just like this, it is a lot easier to get a bird's nest. However, you will get a longer cast. But I recommend when you are a beginner that you have this magnet all the way up to max, or however your reel decides to say max right there. Because if you have that, when you cast out, you will not be able to get a longer casting distance. However, you will not be as frustrated because you won't have a backlash to deal with, because this is all the way up and it should prevent you from getting a backlash. Now, it won't prevent you all the time and you still might get some, but it will lower the chance of getting one. And then, if you do pay a little bit more money, you have a knob right here, or on some casters I've seen, there's a button right on the bottom. But for me, there is a knob right here. You pull it out, and then you turn the cover, and you pop it out. There's the magnetic brakes. And in here, you got your centrifugal brake. The ones that are out, like these two, are on, and then the ones that are in, like these two, are off. So I do have 2 that are on and 2 that are off. Along with the magnetic brakes, I do recommend that you have most of your centrifugal brakes on, just to help you just a little bit to have more power over your accuracy and control of your reel. Now, when starting out casting, I do see some people, they use like 1 ounce to 2 ounce weights, and they tie it on their end of the line and they cast out. Now, when I did this, I did use a lighter weight, of course. I don't know why. I didn't have a heavier one, but I used a lighter weight. But the thing is, although it did add weight, I got a ton of backlashes because I could not see it. What I recommend you to tie on instead is maybe a weedless type of lure. Right here I got a topwater frog, because you do want to practice this on your lawn in your backyard, somewhere not in a pond yet, because you will get a little bit frustrated if you get bird's nests when you're trying to fish and you have to take them out. That frustration. So I do recommend a weedless type of lure to tie on instead of a weight, so first you can see it, and second, the hooks will not get stuck in the grass, and you can easily cast this out and cast it back whenever you want. Now that you have a weedless or some type of weight that you can see on the end of your line, what you want to do, the spool tension knob is going to help you control your lure. So what you're going to do, you're going to press down on the button and see how fast that goes. What you want is, instead, you want it to go down a little bit slower, so when it goes and hits the ground, it will not get a backlash. So if I do that again, watch my reel, I get a slight backlash just like that. So what I want to do instead, you want to go on your spool and you want to turn it that way just a little bit, just so it'll go down a little bit slower. This is actually a bit too fast though. Just go down a little bit slower, so when it hits the ground, you will not get a backlash. So let me show you that again. I have my lure and the tension is correct, so I hit the button, let it fall, and look at that, no backlash. Now, of course, if your lure is heavy, you will need to make sure that the magnets and the centrifugal brakes aren't all the way up. Now, I know I just said that you might want to have them all the way up when you first start out, and that is true. However, because it was a heavier lure, it will basically go out just like 20 feet or so. So you do want to play around with the magnets and the centrifugal brakes and then see how your personal preference is, because everyone has their own taste of what they want and how they feel. So the way I hold my baitcaster, you have your bait casting rod right here. You have this little lip. So most people, they would think that they get their hand, whatever hand that you cast with, and they just put their index finger right on top of it and they hold it just like this. Now, this doesn't really feel comfortable for me, although I don't hold my rod like that ever. So what I usually do, when I first started out, I had my ring finger go onto that lip right there, and then I curl and I palm the reel just like that. I have my index finger right here. I got my thumb right on the button and the spool. That's how I usually hold it. Although sometimes I also just put my whole hand and I put all four of my fingers right on top of that lip right there, and I basically just hug the reel, and I really don't hold any of the rod, just a little bit, just for that little bit of support. Of course, when you cast out with your bait caster, you want to apply pressure onto the spool with your thumb to make sure the lure stops right before it hits the water. So you need to make sure you keep your eye on your lure, and doing that will prevent a backlash from happening. So all you have to do, you cast out your bait and you gently apply pressure with your thumb on that spool, and it will stop the spool from spinning and the lure from moving, therefore making your reel backlash free. Now when you do not thumb your spool, it will keep going, the spool will keep going, and the lure had already stopped by then, but the spool will keep going, and therefore you will get a ton of line backed up, and it'll be a little bit difficult to get out, but most of the time, if you were careful about it, they're super easy to get out. Alright, that's all I have for you today. I am going fishing today, so hopefully we might be able to get something. I'm going to be using worms and bass lures. I'm going to be going for both panfish and bass, see if I can get anything. And another tip with the bait casting, if you want, you can put a little bit of tape, like take out some line on your bait caster, put a little bit of tape on your spool, and then reel it back in. So when you cast out, when you're practicing, you will not get a backlash as bad. The backlash will only go until the tape. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Hopefully I helped some of you out. If you have any questions, comment down below. I will answer them for you. And as always, subscribe, like, comment, share, do everything, do anything. I'm out.